What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Diagon Alley in Hogwarts Legacy. Will it happen? Should it happen? All that good stuff. Now, I want to actually kind of start this with a pretty controversial take, maybe, in that, or not even a take, it's more of a prediction. I want to predict just immediately if it's going to be in the game, and I'm going to honestly predict the answer is no. And I will explain why as this video goes on, but I'm going to predict that we will not get Diagon Alley in this game. I'm not saying, we shouldn't. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a good idea. I think it would be a good idea. And I also, again, in the many predictions I've made in my life on this channel, I hope I'm wrong. And sometimes I am wrong, and that's definitely a good thing in this case. But here's the deal. All the signs we have so far, right, are pointed directly to Hogsmeade. Now, not in terms of, hints that Hogsmeade's in the game, because we know Hogsmeade is, but everything we've seen has been from it, right? In the state of play, there's literally an entire section dedicated to literally going to Hogsmeade, and that's kind of the they kind of approached it as the wider branch of what you can do in this game outside of the walls of Hogwarts, right? You go to Hogsmeade, but there's also like side missions to do, like out literally more in like civilization, right? But there's Hogsmeade, and there's shops, there's vendors, there's stories to learn. You can go there. They even showed the cutscene, right, with the dark wizard that's there. So we have all of that stuff going on, but we still have not seen any confirmation the Diagon Alley would be in the game. Now, we have two things to talk about. The first one is Zonko's. I don't know specifically how you pronounce that word. Zonko's, probably Zonko's, right? Zonko's joke shop, which they showed the picture of on April Fool's Day, but they said, like, this is not an April Fool's Day joke. Like, we have a joke shop in the game where you could buy jokes and stuff, but, this is going to be in the game. So, all right, well, that is in Hogsmeade. So there's just another, and the reason I guess I bring that up is, well, again, in the state of play, everything they showed in Hogsmeade is in Hogsmeade, right? We kind of know the idea of Hogsmeade with buying, whether it's buying outfits or buying this or that, right? So that is most likely all going to happen there. So then we get this, a news shop. Now, it's not a news shop, but we, in terms of an official announcement of a news shop we get at Hogsmeade. Now, the thing that obviously everybody has pointed to, and we've talked about a little bit, right, is Ollivanders. Now, I didn't know this. I had to look it up, but Ollivanders does have more than one branch. It's a franchise, right? They franchised it out, and so there is at least two. One of them is in Diagon Alley, the other is in Hogsmeade. I think the Diagon Alley one is like the official one. Obviously, it's the one Harry went to, and actually a lot of other stuff happened there, right? But there is one in Hogsmeade, and considering the Ollivander that we see in the actual movies, right, he wasn't born, I think, until like 1909, so this would probably be his dad or somebody related to it. But the reason I bring up Ollivanders is because, well, we had that picture, right? That was the big picture shown when they did the delay, when they announced the delay back in last January. They showed Ollivanders, but as many had pointed out, that Ollivanders very much looks like it's in Hogsmeade, not Diagon Alley. You see Hogwarts, the school, literally in the background of it, the environment, the other buildings around it, the literally just, even the decorations, like hanging on the streets. That's all, in my opinion, it looks like Hogsmeade stuff. So let me kind of get, because I feel like I'm kind of dancing around it. Let me get very direct and very serious in the way. The reason I don't think Diagon Alley is going to be in the game, and I also would argue, like, if that's the path they go, I would understand it. So let me argue my understanding of it. Diagon Alley, right, is pretty much let's boil it down. Diagon Alley is the place where you go to buy school equipment, right? It's got other stuff in terms of literally what Diagon Alley is, but mainly what we know it to be, and think about it from the game practical purposes, it's where you go to buy your school supplies, okay? Now, all of that stuff, and there is one little caveat to it, and I will get there, eventually, but everything, for the most part, in terms of buying your school equipment, in terms of getting your animal, in terms of getting your wand, right? All of that stuff, I would argue, could be replicated in the game and would work relatively well if you just transferred everything over to Hogsmeade. Having Ollivanders, too, by the way, in Hogsmeade, it really is the central thing, because when we talk about, buying school equipment, can we be real for a second? I think even if it is a quest in the game, say the very first thing you do in this game is get a wand. Well, that's what it is, literally what I just said. You're getting a wand. You're not going and you're picking out the books. You're not going and you're picking out what scarf you're going to wear. You're not like, you know what I mean? That stuff is all very secondary. And in terms of if you're doing an actual quest in a video game, what's the most important thing for this specific mission? It would literally be to get your wand. Whether you do a cutscene, whether the wand chooses you, all that stuff. I think that could be, well, obviously, I think that will happen. I actually think that all will happen, and it would be at that Ollivanders. And then you could have it be in Hogsmeade, where that's where you would go whenever you wanted, whether maybe there's like an upgrade tied to it, or we've kind of talked about like charms. And I don't mean like swapping out wands or literally like adding things onto wands. I mean some sort of like internal game mechanic where you can literally upgrade your spells and be like a better caster and stuff like that. That's kind of what, and you would tie it to the store. Okay, so that's kind of what I mean. Now, that, again, in terms of being direct, I would say the purchasing parts of Diagon Alley, like literally going to stores, going to shops, going around, all can be very easily transferred to Hogsmeade. You don't really need Diagon Alley. The only thing that really stands out is Gringotts. Now, it does look like you're going to go in Gringotts, as we see in the state of play. So that's an interesting one, right? Because it's like, well, if we can go to Gringotts, is that like an open world part of the story mission, or is it like a very linear thing where you're at Hogwarts, then you press the mission, and it's like, okay, in this mission, we're going to Gringotts. So you get teleport, however you get there. You go to Gringotts, you do that, and then you come back, right? I guess what I'm asking is, when we do that scene, when that scene plays out when we're in Gringotts, how do we get there, and how much of it is like explorable? Can we explore all of Gringotts? And not just that, right? But Gringotts is kind of like on the outskirts or towards like the end of what is considered Diagon Alley. So I guess the question would be, can you leave the bank and then you're in the, that literally the alley? Can you go around there? The question, I guess the answer to that would be, I'm not like sold on it. I'm really not. Now, I want to just make sure I say a couple other things before we wrap up. I know like they haven't shown us everything, so I know like part of my argument, I guess, is that we haven't seen it, but I don't want people to take it too seriously, right? Because it's like, oh, Alex, they're not going to show everything, so just because we haven't seen it yet doesn't mean it won't happen. I agree. I think it's definitely possible. I guess my main argument is that, yes, while they haven't shown it yet, that doesn't really mean almost anything. But I guess my main point is, anything you can imagine doing in Diagon Alley, in terms of going into shops, you could very easily just transfer over to Hogsmeade, and there really would be no difference, especially if Ollivanders, if you have that as your central thing in Hogsmeade, then there's really no reason to have almost double the store. Well, again, like, it's a thing where it's like, well, yeah, would I want double the stores in the game? Would I want double the places to go to? Of course. But I'm talking about, again, like practicality. Like, do you really need both? Not necessarily. Again, it's not a perfect 1-to-1 ratio, but it's pretty close. The only really, in my opinion, aspect of Diagon Alley that Hogsmeade wouldn't have would be like a Gringotts thing, which, and again, I'm only going based off stuff we've seen also in the trailer. But again, maybe the story mission for Gringotts, or if it's a side mission or whatever, maybe you only go there and then come right back. Maybe there is no walking outside and going into Diagon Alley. So again, it's just a prediction. I don't know for sure. I'd love to be proven wrong, and we'll see. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. I do think we'll find out before the game comes out for something that big. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.